I guess a final video. maybe, maybe I'll follow these guys around for a while. But anyway, they've closed the the message board, whatever, the scienceforums.net. Yes, garbage website. Um, I mean, just garbage. You know, this fake science, just fake pseudoscience bullshit. Um, you know, they lose an argument, they close it because they can't lose an argument, right? They have no integrity. They don't give a shit about the truth. Just despicable liars, and I will demonstrate that. So this is where we left off the last time. The fascist, you know, whatever this is, whatever this pompous ass wipes who have just no integrity. They can't make a stand up. They can't have a stand up fight. They're little anonymous coward trolls hiding behind their little fake icons, talking shit. I should just sue them. Yeah, that's what I should do. I should sue them. Because this is a kind of slander, what they're doing here. These lies they keep telling. And they're just fucking lies. Okay, so I responded to them saying I can't make videos. And so I had already posted this thought experiment. Okay? No video. I had posted it in text. So I said, think of two radio antennas equal distance from a receiver exactly between them. They probably can't do that because they're too stupid. Perhaps you can understand that if the transmitters transmit the same frequency out of phase, the receiver in the middle will not be able to resolve any signal, even though it's clearly getting hit by a ton of signal. Clearly, in such a case, wave interference could not be blamed for the null signal, as the two waves would not interact till after they passed the antenna. Okay, right? So I'd already posted this as a comment, no video. All right. This experiment will likely be done very soon. So in spite of me saying that, they've closed this board. So in spite of the fact that there was actually going to be an experiment done demonstrating something, no, can't allow that. And I posted the remark, any of you brave video burners afraid to give viewers content choices care to risk guessing what the results will be? I didn't get any responses, of course, on the subject. Okay. So, whatever this is, a chemistry expert he calls himself. Obviously an ignorant kook. A liar, another liar. Fake ID. Fake intelligence. Pretending he has some sort of education. Because these people are so fucking stupid that can't be possible. I mean, they're liars, right? So I can take them to court because they're lying. You're not a chemistry expert, clearly. You're an imbecile. A fucking idiotic, stupid, moronic 15-year-old. Lying. I mean, you're like stealing identity. You know, you're like pretending to be a policeman. I mean, pretending to be a physicist should be there should be a law against that. Okay, because you're an idiot. Okay. So here I said, you keep implying that all energy at a frequency is in the form of a sine wave, right? I was just trying to make a simple point that you people want to keep calling everything that has a frequency a wave. Well, you can do that, but it's really ignorant. Because only the things that have a frequency in a medium are waves. I am objecting to any obligation to agree that is true. So he says, okay, here is the proof. Okay, so that if it has one frequency. So the whole point of this conversation is about things that don't have one frequency, in the sense that that's exactly the point being made, is that if you combine two punches, you're creating a new frequency. Oh, amazing. It's a sinusoidal wave. Okay, so it's just so stupid. I mean, frankly, it's just stupid to say that it's a sinusoidal wave if it has one frequency. It's just stupid. There's no evidence that that's true. Sine, cosine, or a combination. It's just stupid. And so he posted a link to frontier analysis, which really has it's so distant a subject, and it proves nothing. Okay, it's just a way of doing a different kind of mathematics to end with to get to a result. It doesn't. How can that possibly be a proof of something, especially a cause? I mean, so first, the Wikipedia page doesn't claim it proves that light is a wave. That's nowhere in the Wikipedia page. And the analysis is always involving mediums. So again, just more nonsense. Feel free to argue with it. Yeah, I will. Nobody will believe you. So I said, if the experiment is done properly, oh, this is the other guy. So yeah, my response is until the next one. This experiment will likely be done very soon. Okay. So, and then I asked him to take a guess. And so he says, if the experiment is done properly, then we know what the result will be. So, an obvious evasion, right? And later he's going to accuse me of being evasive. Just such an obvious evasion, right? He can't answer the simple question. What do you think is going to happen? Oh, I'm going to evade the question by saying we all know what's going to happen, right? Just a complete cop-out. Just proving he has no penis at all. Okay, no guessing required. Yeah, so exactly. Just cop out. Pretend you answered a question without answering it. How brave. Okay, you are the one refusing to provide a choice of content format. So again, how did I not provide a choice? I wrote the thought experiment as text, and then I posted a 5-minute video providing a little more information. So how did I do something wrong? Oh, that's right, I didn't do anything wrong, you liar! Why not provide the information here? I did, and ironically, as a response to this asshole. So the text I wrote was actually a response to this asshole's fucking comment. So I posted it, the text, as a response to his own comment. And here he's denying that I did it. And I've quoted it on his message board. So clearly I did it. So clearly it's there. Amazing. And he puts here in bold text, as if I didn't already put it here. Jeez. And if you insist, a video as support. I've already been told by the moderator I'm not allowed to post any videos. He says it's official. You can't do it. So why are you saying I can do it when I can't do it? Oh, liar. Just amazing. So, okay, it says, I quote the other guy. And I say, how does a photon ever have more than one frequency, right? Because we're talking about experiments that are supposed to be able to be done with single photons, but clearly in the radar experiment, we know these are photons coming out of the two radar dishes. They can't have anything but one frequency. It's a sinusoidal wave combination. It says there is no unweak evidence of that. So yeah, just pointing out. So I said this is the wiki link. If this wiki link proves it, why wouldn't they say it does? Simple question. Probably because that would be overtly foolish, as they, unlike you, know the difference between carried waves, things on something or in a medium, and the force they are carried on. Yeah, so they know the difference between, with Morse code, the electricity and the ... part. Feel free to argue with it, but no freedom to do it in a video technicolor. So I made a little dig again. Nobody will believe you except honest, intelligent people. Yeah, and where are the honest, intelligent people, right? Because this really shouldn't be going on something called science forums, right? This kind of crap. Honest, intelligent people would say, no, this kind of crap shouldn't be going on. This is absolute nonsense. These stupid, idiotic 15-year-olds pretending to be physicists, this is outrageously stupid. So then he says, if the experiment is done properly, then we know the results will be. No guessing required. So I say, please do tell. Please, please, please. Let me hear your brilliant analysis of what the results will be. Let's see. So it says here, you are the one refusing to provide choice of content format. That is exactly what I did, right? My comment quotes my comment to you. So I'm just pointing out I've just quoted myself making the text comment to you. So how can you make an argument that I didn't provide both things, the text and the video? I posted the thought experiment in text. Then I posted a 5-minute video providing more detail. So they just keep lying. I have to keep defending myself against their lies. That's the strategy of a troll. That's all these fuckers are, is fucking trolls. Pretending to give a shit about something called the truth when they're propagandist lying frauds. Alright, so how does a photon ever have more than one frequency? It doesn't. Why do you think it does? So, this is amazing. He doesn't read other people's comments, right? I mean, the asshole said it overtly. Alright? That it proves waves if there's only one frequency. Like, so how does it prove it? But no freedom to do video and technicolor. You are free to sing a song. No, I'm not. Do a mime or paint a picture. No, I'm not. You've made it clear people aren't free to do any of that stuff here. So it's just silly to say it. I mean, it's a lie, okay? You are free. No, I'm not. So you're just lying to people. Liar, liar, liar. God, amazing. As long as you also explain it here. Oh, which I exactly did to you. As a direct response to your comment. Amazing. Preferably using mathematics. What? Again, this is such a lie of physics that somehow mathematics explains causes. It's just an idiotic lie. Okay, you are spending more effort making excuses. A lie. No, I'm spending effort explaining a simple process called jamming that you don't seem to think exists. Then providing the mathematics and evidence for your idea. The mathematics already exists. Nowhere in my comment did I say, the mathematics of physics is bullshit. No, I said your understanding of causes is bullshit. Oh, Alright, so please do tell. Please, please. See the nice animation of constructive and destructive interference that you provided to debunk your own idea. So this is amazing, right? So maybe I'll show the animation again here. So this, I pointed to when he said something or whatever. So I posted this as a link, a page that had this on it because it explained what jamming was. All right, and it's an image from Wikipedia, but it obviously also shows more than one thing. Okay, so what it's basically showing is the red line is basically the energy the antenna, okay, the electricity the antenna is going to see is essentially the red line. So constructive interference produces energy. Destructive interference, no energy. All right, and that's all you're seeing here. But the important part to see is notice the blue and the green lines, right? On constructive interference, the frequency is, say, 1,000 hertz. Destructive interference, you got twice as many bumps. Okay, 2,000 hertz. Quite obviously, the frequency is doubled in destructive interference. So when there's no signal, that's when there's twice as many sine wave humps. The frequency has clearly been doubled. I mean, how stupid can this fucker be? Alright, so I said, that is exactly what I did. And he said, I've gone through the thread and I don't see anywhere that you explained in text or mathematics. So again, the thought experiment, I quoted it on this message board. You can't make one of these quote things. Okay, you can't just engineer one. Alright, it's obviously on the message board because I quoted my own comment. I mean, how can he say something this fucking stupid? Alright, what is the form of light? What is the form of light waves is? So, not even a very comprehensible statement here. One, what is the form of light waves is? If it's not a sine wave. Obviously, I don't think it's a wave, idiot. It's stuff at a frequency. As Feynman would say, it's clumps at a frequency. I'm sure you're a Feynman whore. But apparently you don't even pay any attention to what Feynman says, okay? It's clumps at a frequency, dumbass. That's what quantum means, you stupid fuck. It's not a wave. Why light waves in this form do not interfere with one another. Why light waves in this form do not interfere with one another. Because there's no evidence that they do. That's why they don't. It doesn't make any sense at all. There's no evidence that light bulbs interfere with each other, or laser beams bang off of each other. There's no evidence that force interacts with force, shit for brain. Why should I have to explain why there's no evidence of something? There's no evidence. That's the explanation. No evidence means no reason to believe. Even though we see them doing it. That's exactly a lie. So amazing. We see them doing it when, of course, we never see them do it. We actually never see a force bounce off of a force. Ever. Ever, 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 ever has it been seen by anyone. Oh, god damn. Why the frequency should change when two different light sources interact. Well, as I just pointed out, it's kind of obvious why they change. I've drawn pictures of it. Why it changes is because there's two things that go in like this, and when they're out of phase, they're like that, you dumb fuck. You can't figure out that, oh, that's twice as much in the same space. See, there's this much over here and this much over here, but when you put them, that's twice as much in the same space. God damn stupid. Feel free to either copy and paste the answers here or link to the post where you provided the answers. Answers to what? This wasn't even, frankly, this wasn't even part of this comment before. He fucking put that in as an edit or something. Alright. So here we go. Do you actually read any of the comments? He says, it doesn't. Why do you think it does? Okay. Do you actually read any of the comments you respond to? Do you? He says, if it has one frequency. I say, when does a photon have more than one frequency? I mean, quite logically, you can just say, if somebody tells you the photon will do X when it has one frequency, right? I mean, it's just, obviously, well, photons aren't blue and red at the same time, so yeah, it obviously only has one fucking frequency. You are free to sing a song. I say, you don't read the post of other mods either, do you? Obviously, the other mod told me I'm not allowed to sing a song. I'm not allowed to do a damn fucking thing. Yeah, except get banned. Preferably using mathematics. Not a question of mathematics. Mathematics formalizes effects, not causes. We are discussing. Okay, so I didn't get any response to that statement. Because, well, I think I did, actually. But I mean, it's such an obvious point, okay? I mean, all these people who keep talking about mathematics. Mathematics is just saying, I saw a tree fall down. And then I saw another tree fall down. And then I saw another tree fall down. I figured out there's a certain number of trees out of all the trees that fall down every day. And then I wrote an equation for how often trees fall down. And then they say, because I wrote an equation, I'm predicting that trees fall down. When a dumbass could have predicted it. An idiot could have predicted it. If you see something happen 15 times, and then you say, I'm going to predict it's going to happen again. That's called just being a retard to call that a prediction. I mean, you people are such frauds. You're just such phonies to use these words like you ever predicted anything. What a pile of crap. It's like saying, oh, well, I predicted there'll be a car accident tomorrow. Quantum physics says so. Any idiot could say so. You are spending more effort making excuses. So it's just a lie. That's a slanderous lie, in my opinion. I've made no excuses whatsoever. What I've done is presented a fucking argument that you fucking keep ignoring. I mean, fuck. Alright, another weakly evidenced claim. So it's just part of their game. They keep saying they have evidence of something. They keep making claims, and they have nothing. And you are the one evading answering my questions. Clearly, he keeps evading it. Then providing, okay, and he says, and then providing the mathematics and evidence for your ideas. First, give me your mathematics proving jamming doesn't happen in the radar experiment. Obviously, he can't do that. Alright, so he responds to, you don't actually read comments. He says, he is talking about your radio signals, not photons. So just how stupid is that? He's talking about your radio signals, not photons. I mean, this guy is a moderator pretending he knows something about physics, and he says something this fucking stupid. And this asshole gets to insult other people on this fucking board. This stupid nerd. Calling him, this stupid little putsy twat. And he's this fucking ignorant. He's so fucking ignorant. Alright, if you want to talk about photons, yeah, that's the subject. Yes, radar is photons, idiot. That's right. Then I suppose you could say, because it has one frequency, it must be a sine wave. Why would I ever say anything so fucking stupid? Mathematics formalizes effect, not the causes we are discussing. Mathematics can describe both effects and causes. Well, I obviously respond to that by saying, prove it. Show me the cause formalized by mathematics. No answer to that. Alright, but feel free to explain in words. Whatever that means. Why radio waves are... Oh, God, this means these two little things. Why radio waves are not sine waves and what form they are. So amazing. Again, I've pointed out how I have no obligation to think a photon is a wave. I've pointed out that Richard Feynman has said they're not fucking waves. Yet I'm not allowed to say, I have no obligation to play your little wavy game. Okay, that's your delusion. Alright, that's your little queer fetish. I don't have to play that. Alright, I don't have to dress in a little Furby suit and pretend to be a squirrel. Okay, why I butt fuck you. How a higher frequency is created by the addition of two radio waves. So, again, we'll go back to the illustration. But can it be any more obvious than this? The two waves are out of phase, creating twice as many little bumps in the same space. That's called twice the period. It's called twice the frequency. A fucking 12-year-old could figure this one out. Alright, then I said, first give me your mathematics. Nope, your claim, your burden of proof. So again, the whole argument is I started the post by saying the evidence for photon wave interference is weak. And then I'm saying case one experiment, the radar experiment. And I'm explaining how your evidence is weak. Your claim that it's interference, I'm saying, is a weak claim. The evidence doesn't indicate that that's the only explanation or the best explanation. I'm saying a much better explanation is jamming, a much simpler process. Doesn't involve any photons having to interact with each other at all. Alright. He is talking about your radio signal, not photons. So I say, you don't know that radio is photons? Question mark? Yeah. If you want to talk about photons, then I suppose it's okay. So then I say, you didn't read the wiki page either, right? So again, it's because it has one frequency, it must be a sine wave. So this is on the subject where the guy said that somehow the wiki page was proof of it. Obviously, there was no proof on the wiki page that photons are waves. It didn't prove it at all. And clearly this asshole didn't read the page. And he says, mathematics can describe both the effects or the causes. How about one example of a mathematically proven cause? Right? It doesn't happen. And then I pointed out that Newton certainly would not agree with you. I mean, Newton knew that his calculus cannot explain why there's gravity. He knew that. He knew that his formalizing effects isn't going to explain why something happens. What caused it to happen. But feel free to explain in words. Okay, and so it says, why radio waves are not signs, and what form they are. The subject of this post is the quality of your evidence for the causes you assert. In this particular case, the assertion that radio photons interfere with each other. So I keep trying to drag him back to the subject. How a higher frequency is created by the addition of two radio waves. I illustrated it in the videos and provided you a page link with a nice animation. So let's again go to the animation, clearly showing how Oh yeah, I get it. The frequencies double when there's destructive interference. There's exactly twice as many blue and green things. Oh yeah, I get it. Dumb fuckers. Nope, your claim you're burner proof. Again, I say, you claim interference. I claim jamming. I have to prove jamming, but you don't have to prove interference. And I say, fair cop not. Clearly a hypocrite. Clearly just playing a double standard. I'm going to hold you to your evidence to a higher standard than I hold my evidence to. That's all he's saying, okay? My witnesses are truth tellers. Your witnesses are liars. All right? Even though he has no evidence of that, there's no indication that his evidence has any more integrity than the theory of jamming. The theory of interference is no more real than the theory of jamming. Just bullshit. So then he responds, you don't know that radio is photons? And he says, it can be described that way. No, it has to be photons, okay? It can't be anything else. It's not electrons. It's not dog doo. It's not something else. There's no other way to describe it. They're photons. You're just fucking wrong, and you couldn't just say, oh yeah, well, my bad there. That was really stupid. But it makes explaining interference much more complicated. Yeah, well, exactly. If you tell the truth, it's more complicated to lie. So, yeah, you have to lie, and then you have more lies. So making lies out of lies is really easy. So, yes, if you're going to evade using truth words, it makes lying so much more fun. So much easier. It is much better to stick to the model of classical waves. Well, I say something to that horseshit, of course. Or whatever your secret model is. So again, he's implying I have some secret model when I'm obviously made thousands of videos and I have a channel and a website. And I know that I couldn't just sit there and write that stuff down here and promote it. But I mean, clearly I'm horny to argue it. I'm horny to present it to anybody who wishes to try to make a rational counter argument. So he's pretending that somehow I'm afraid. No, I'm not afraid of you little cowards. Okay, I'll wipe the ground with you as I did right here, as you locking this forum demonstrates. You're the cowards. You're the ones that pissed your pants. Okay. So again, what an amazing statement, or whatever your secret model is that you refuse to explain. I mean, what a bizarre statement to make. You know, when I'm overtly offering money to people for them to let me explain it to them. Amazing statement. The subject of the post is the quality of your evidence. That was my statement. It is well established that waves interfere. So, you know, again, nowhere am I denied that sound waves interfere or water waves. Things in a medium interfere because they can do the energy cancellation thing. Okay, energy going up can cancel with energy going down because matter is moving. Okay, the conduit exists. But forces don't interact with forces. Forces can't cancel each other out. You stupid, dumb fuck. Anyway, this thread is for you to present your alternative model. No, it isn't. So again, he just keeps lying about what the purpose is. The purpose is for me to say your evidence is weak. That's what I said, and that's what I'm demonstrating, is that you don't really have any evidence that interference is the right answer. You just don't have it. Clearly. Or you'd present it. Alright. I illustrated it in the video. So, okay, he says, the nice animation shows no change in frequency. So here we go. He's saying this doesn't show a change in frequency. So when there's, you know, green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, that doesn't represent a change in frequency. He's that fucking stupid. Alright. It only shows the constructive and destructive interference. So again, no, it shows that when the frequency is doubled, there's no signal. That's what it shows, idiot. Quite clearly. that you claim doesn't exist. Yes, I claim, exactly. I claim there's a thing called jamming. That's the subject of the video. A simple explanation where you don't have to have photons and multiverses and special Huygens wavelets and a million little Huygenses and all this other crap. You don't need any of that crap. Okay, it's a nice simple explanation for what's causing the effect. It also uses sine waves that you claim are not relevant to radio waves. Well, as I point out, not my fault they don't understand it's not a wave. So I'm not sure how the animation supports your case. Well, I'll just show it one more time. Look, there's twice as many bumps in the same space. That means the frequency is double. There, that's how it supports it. Dumb fuck. Alright, you claim interference. I claim jamming. Okay, here it is. It is perfectly fair. I don't know what any of that means. Anyone can read the standard explanation in any school textbook. So again, he just keeps saying nonsense as if, well, because the textbook says there's only interference and it never mentions jamming, that means jamming doesn't exist. And perform the simple experiments to confirm it. Well, exactly, that's not exactly true. They're not that simple. I mean, yes, they're pretty simple. Frankly, the fact that scientists haven't done any of these experiments is bad on them. And when this is over, I'm going to be mocking MIT because really they can only be called idiots or liars. I mean, there's only those two choices, right? I mean, for them to promote this bullshit explanation when it's so kind of obvious that it's been engineered, their whole audio signal on top, all of these gimmicks, clearly they knew it doesn't work when you do it right. All right. So obviously there's no confirmation of anything in the experiments. There is a nice one for measuring the speed of light using chocolate bar and a microwave oven. So totally irrelevant, right? On the other hand, you claim to have an alternative explanation but refuse to say what it is. I mean, how? I can just keep saying the word jamming, right? I can say it 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000,000 times, and they'll just keep ignoring it because they don't understand the concept. I mean, how could this asshole say, again, this is just such a disgusting lie again. You claim to have an alternative explanation but refuse to say what it is. How can you lie like that? How can you get away with being such a fucking liar? And then he says, reported for soapboxing. Oh, yeah, right, for making an argument and waiting for you to actually respond to the point made. Whatever that is, that's soapboxing apparently. Sitting here listening to crickets when I ask you a question, that's soapboxing? Alright, so it says, I illustrated in the videos and provided a page link with a nice animation. Again, here he says, I'm beginning to wonder if you even understand what that animation shows. Yeah, I'm, of course, the one who does understand, because I can count the little bumps. Do you know the difference between amplitude and frequency? so yes, I mean, it's just such a stupid question, but anyway, I mean, what does that have to do with it? Can you count the bumps? The original source of the animation is here. Yes, it's a Wikipedia page. Who cares? That might help you clear up your confusion. So, yeah, no, I'm not the one confused, asshole. Anyway, so just this kind of stuff. So it's okay for them to say something like that. That might help clear up your confusion. So that's not provocative or insulting. And everybody should just take those kind of insults from these little turds. And these are moderators again, right? This isn't just some fucking other douchebag on the message board, right? These are the moderators who provoke, okay, the insult war. All right, so I say it can be described that way, but makes explaining interference much more complicated. And I say, better to be wrong than right, right? So I guess you believe in the retarded backward dimension also. Later on, he's going to say he doesn't understand that comment. Better to be wrong than right. I guess you believe in the retarded backward dimension also. So he doesn't really understand. But what I'm saying is that it would be retarded and backward to think having the wrong answer is having the right answer. Yeah. All right, anyway. Or whatever your secret model is. Me model is posted on my website and in the 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel. you really refuse to stay on the subject of the post. So, I mean, I'm being fairly polite considering this is so off the subject. He says, it is well established that waves interfere. There is no place like home. There's no place like, and I say, try wishing on some dark matter. So again, obviously, the fact that waves, water waves interfere isn't in dispute. Sound waves interfere. Lots of perturbations in mediums interfere. But there absolutely is not well established by anything called evidence that photons do it. All right, this thread is for you to present your alternative model. Oh, you have to kill anything that looks like a fair critique of your model. So again, I'm obviously critiquing their model. That's why I'm here. That's the whole point of the post, is to point out how their model is vacuous and lacks evidence, and they just keep making pompous statements about reality for which they can't back up with anything called real evidence. That all of their statements are just weakly evidenced, insanely weakly evidenced, like the Eddington experiment and such, that made Einstein a household word. Einstein gained all his popularity from an experiment that was absolutely rubbish. It's just a fact of history. All right, you mock others, but no one can mock you. You're unfair cop mush. More unfair cop mush. I mean, the hypocrisy and the double standards these assholes interject is just so fucking beyond acceptable. It shouldn't be acceptable. The nice animation shows no change in frequency. You obviously didn't look at it. I mean, obviously didn't look at it. I mean, he obviously isn't seeing the change in frequency. How can you not see it? Look, twice as many, half as many. Twice as many, half as many. Yeah, you can't miss it. It clearly shows a 2x increase in frequency. You claim it doesn't exist. I claim mediums allow interference. That's my claim. Mediums create an opportunity for things to interfere with each other. Without a medium, it ain't gonna happen. It also uses sine waves that you claim are not relevant to radio waves. I made no claim it was perfect. So obviously I'm not saying that description of how frequencies work is the only description. They could have done it with just bars of energy. Would have been fine with me. That to me would have been more accurate, because the energy isn't sinusoidal. The energy is clumpy, as Feynman said. As Feynman said, the energy is clumpy. As Richard Feynman, your hero, said, the energy comes in clumps, not waves. So I'm not sure how that animation supports your case. The 2 increase in the bimps. Yeah, that's it. The doubling of the number of bimps. Oh, fuck. It is perfectly fair. No, your hypocrisy is obvious. Anyone can read the standard explanation in any school textbook. Richard Feynman says they shouldn't do that. And he says it overtly. I wish students were not taught this. He says those fucking words. Let's see. And perform simple experiments to confirm it. You claim confirmation you do not in fact show. So again, there is no explanation. If there was an experiment that proved something, then there'd be no problem. Or that confirmed something, there'd be no problem. But obviously it doesn't confirm anything. Your evidence is weak. So there is a nice one for measuring the speed of light using a chocolate bar. More irrelevant baby talk. Yep, I don't even know why he interjected something like that, except to imply that somehow I'm making a chocolate bar theory. Jamming is a chocolate bar theory. All right. Then he says, on the other hand, you claim to have an alternative explanation but refuse to say what it is. And I point out quite obvious. If I had post my whole theory on this board, I would have been banned, and you know it. So again, this guy is such a liar. I mean, he knows these assholes wouldn't let me post my whole theory on this message board. They can't stay on one little subject, one simple experiment they can't focus on. There's no way they could analyze a whole theory. No hope at all. I am rationally going one step at a time, and you keep to break those rational steps. You keep trying, I should have put in there, to break those rational steps. So he says, reported for soapboxing. I thought this was a pretty good joke. Nerd code for I wet 'em. Gotcha. I'm beginning to wonder if you even understand what that animation shows. I am wondering if you are just some kind of pogo stick that fell on a keyboard. So yeah, I'm just responding to his mush with mush. I mean, it's just so fucking stupid. I mean, the animation obviously shows a 2x increase in frequency. Do you know the difference between amplitude and frequency? Oh, please explain the math difference between jamming and interference first. Because they keep talking about math, right? As it turns out, the geometry for interference and the geometry for jamming is exactly the same geometry. Exactly. It's exactly the same concept. It just doesn't have any different math. If you're going to do math for jamming a radio signal, you use exactly the same math that you use for interference. You know, this is just so fucking stupid. The original source of the animation is here. He says, so what? As has been repeatedly pointed out, the geometry for both is the same, distance and phase. So, as I'm pointing out, the fact that they want to use the same animation to point out how interference works, great, because guess what? The same animation works for jamming too. That might clear up your confusion. My confusion regarding how hypocrites like you are made moderators. I mean, he's just such a hypocrite. Such a lying sack of crap. Alright. So he says, I said, I guess you believe in the retarded backward dimension also. So he doesn't... See, I quote all of their text. Right? I don't leave any of their sentences out. They edit. You know. So they quote mine, me. Right? So that's more their deceptive tactics. They ignore part of the subject. They evade the questions asked. They evade the good points I made. Okay? Because they're cowards. Cowards do that. Cowards leave sentences out. Alright. I guess you... So he obviously left out the part where I said having the wrong answer is stupid or whatever I said. And I guess you believe in the retarded backward dimension. I have no idea what that means. Well, out of the context of the statement that was said right before it, yeah, I guess it doesn't mean much. But it means something when you're defending having the wrong answer. You're saying, well, our math works so much better when we have the wrong answer. Wrong answer's in, wrong answer's out. It works really good for us. Okay. My model is posted on my website. I thought the subject of the thread was your model. So again, how could you think that? I clearly stated the confines of the subject. There's in bold text, case number 1, the radar experiment. I mean, the confinement of the subject couldn't have been more clear. There's no way I could have made it more clear. Amazing. You obviously didn't look at it, so the animation. And he says, I did. It is really good. So, I mean, again, obviously, he just doesn't see what's so obvious. I can only assume you don't know what frequency means. So, amazing. So, I says, it clearly shows a 2x increase in frequency. So, let's look at it again, right? Let's just keep looking at it again and again and again. Right? So, when the green and the blue separate, that's actually twice the frequency, right? I mean, everybody with a little tiny bit of, a few little sparks in their brain, you know, just a tiny bit of voltage going, can see that, can't you? You can see that, oh yeah, the frequency is exactly double at the moment of complete destructive interference. At the moment when the line is straight, there's twice the frequency of blue and green. Jesus Christ. To put it as simply as possible, time, and therefore frequency, is along the horizontal, and amplitude or signal strength is along the vertical axis. Well, gee, that's just so useless. I have animated a frame from the animation, so he annotated. So he's quote mining the animation now. Okay. with the frequency of one of the input waves green and the resulting wave red. You can see the frequency is the same for both. So know what he's done, right? So this whole argument, right, there's two concepts, constructive and destructive. Now, constructive means 2 photons go in and 2 photons hit, right? So nobody's disagreeing with constructive interference, right? Obviously, I'm not saying that when 2 photons go in and 2 photons hit, that makes perfectly good sense to me. So that's the part he's drawing, right? It's when 2 photons go in at the same time. That means twice the amplitude because you got twice as much energy. No one's disagreeing with that. The part we're disagreeing over is where you say 2 photons go in and there's no photons out. There's the part where we're disagreeing, douche. It's the destructive interference that you needed to do an animation of, and clearly the destructive interference would have showed the extra humps. I mean, just such a... And if this isn't being a fake, a fraud, and a liar, what is this other than a lie? All right, to sit there and distort the evidence like this. So obviously, quote mining and a fucking animation. All right, you can see the frequency is the same for both. Right, and if you just would have waited until the green and the blue line separated, you could clearly see the fucking frequency is twice as much. All right, the frame is near the point of maximum constructive interference, right, which nobody's disagreeing with. 2 photons go in, 2 photons land. No one's disagreeing with that theory, idiot. So I have also highlighted the amplitude so you can see that the amplitude of the resulting signal is twice the amplitude of the input. Well, that's right. 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's right. It should be twice the amplitude because they have to go on top of each other. So again, this animation isn't exactly perfect because when the 2 waves are exactly on top of each other, it means they're actually on top of each other, dumbass. Dumbass. They add. Dumbass. God. The 2x increase in bumps. That is amplitude. No! Bumps aren't the amplitude. So you can't even get that right. So he thinks the bumps are the amplitude. When they're the frequency, dummy. Signal strength, volume, not frequency. So again, so if you count the number of bumps, that's not the frequency. I mean, could he get dumber than this? I mean, this is so dumb. Really, why is this asshole allowed to be a moderator on something called science forums when he's this fucking dumb? I can't imagine why. So if I had post my whole theory, okay, and he says, I can't imagine why, unless it would have meant posting hundreds of hours of videos with no explanation. Well, the videos are the explanation, asshole. So, I mean, people have to go to learn regular physics. They have to go to at least 4 years of college and maybe 6. All right? It's not exactly an undetailed subject. It has lots of elements to it. And you won't listen to, say, 3 hours of my videos. I'm cut it all down to 3 fucking hours. I can make you really smart in 3 fucking hours. And you won't even do that. So don't be a liar, you fucking liar. Quit being such a fucking liar. Oh, explain your whole theory of reality in 2 paragraphs. And then I'll judge it. Fuck. I mean, really, so fucking idiotic. So this Maxi Mealy Dealy fucker. Who are these fucking people? These anonymous fuckers. Anyway. So he quotes double quotes, which is really stupid. So I post the experiment. This experiment will likely be done very soon. I pointed that out. So he's quoted my point. Let's see what he says. If you have a receiver in the middle between 2 opposing antennas, you just get a standing wave. And what an amazing statement. How? How do you get a standing wave when there's no medium? How do you do that? Yeah. Oh, Holiday. He must be Holiday. Holiday's pretending. Okay, so if you have a receiver in the middle between two opposing antennas, you just get a standing wave. So he doesn't understand that photons move from point A to point B. He thinks they're perturbating through some medium, so the medium's just going up and down in locations. So he thinks the medium's just doing this in certain locations, so you could just sit right in between two of those locations and everything would be just fine. Oh, God, what an idiot. All right, you just get a standing wave. I mean, it's just, you know, how can somebody think a photon is a standing wave? I mean, how could they even, how is this possible that fucking idiots can say shit this fucking stupid to other people? How can somebody, so this fucking dumb, think he's going to preach to me? Anyway, some parts will be active, other parts will be dead spots. So he really thinks that I could just, that light bulb is shining light on me. All I have to do is move right over here and the light won't hit me. Magic. Amazingly stupid. Like, say if it was, the light was blinking. He thinks that there's places I could go, like once a second, so you could really see it going blink, blink, blink. He really thinks I could just move right here, and all of a sudden it'd be dark where I am. He's that fucking stupid. All right, some parts will be active, other parts will be dead spots. What are you trying to get to with this? So I ask a simple question, right? It's a thought experiment. I'm saying, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think when the two radar signals are sent to the antenna that no energy is going to hit the antenna? Or do you understand that no, the two waves are going to hit and they're going to create a new wave, and a new frequency? So two frequencies are going to come in, and when they hit the antenna, a new frequency is going to be created. And unless you tune to it, you're not going to hear it. That's what's going to happen, asshole. Okay, you can see this in the very animation you provide. Look at the red. So amazing. So it's a link to exactly the same fucking animation. And again, he's saying, look at the red. Yeah, I'm looking at the red. When the red goes flat, there's twice as many blue and green humps. Twice as many. That's what I'm seeing. Aren't you seeing that, idiot? So both of these assholes can't look at that animation and see the doubling of the frequency. Both of these assholes can't see something so fucking obvious. Alright, not a question of mathematics. Mathematics formalizes effect, not the causes we're discussing. I already explained why Maxwell's equations and your idea would be in contradiction. No, you didn't explain any such thing. So again, another lie. Alright? No explanation whatsoever or how any a cause has ever been explained by a fucking equation. Equations don't do causes. Equations formalize, I saw a dog take a poo, so now I'm going to predict that dogs will poo. That's all this fucking quantum crap is. Just a pretense where they're claiming they predicted something because they saw it happen 1,768 times. And they now think they're brilliant because, oh, I saw one dog poo and I predicted that another dog was going to poo someday. What pieces of crap. Alright, now we come to the big finish. Pie for all. Obviously a fascist, an idiot, a moron, a liar, a cheater, a thief, an un-American piece of crap. Okay. So I say, better to be wrong than right. I'm guessing you believe in the retarded backward dimension also. A perfectly rational response to what he said, okay? I mean, he basically said, look, our silly theory works better if we think of everything being in a silly form. So if we think it's a wave when it's not, it just makes it easier for us to lie about what is going to happen. It's bullshit. Me model is posted on my website, and so this is amazing. So he says this statement is somehow too rude. So I say me model is posted on my website and in the 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel. You really refuse to stay on the subject of the post. So again, the point is I mean, it couldn't be made clearer. I'm arguing radar experiment. Case number 1, the radar experiment. It's in the fucking title of the goddamn message board post. I didn't know the subject was Gary's theory of everything. I certainly didn't make that the subject. There's no place like home, okay? And so he says, oh, you have to kill anything, okay? Obviously, you didn't look at it. I made no claim it was perfect. So he thinks saying, I made no claim that the dumb animation was perfect, that somehow that's too offensive, that's too rude. The 2x increase in bumps. He thinks that's too rude. The point that I point out that there's 2x increase in the little bumps. That's too rude. No, your hypocrisy is obvious. No, I mean, that's a little rude, but obviously this guy deserved it. So, and then pointing out that Richard Feynman says they shouldn't do that. That should get me banned. That should get the board closed. Because that somehow isn't a true statement. When it's a fucking goddamn true statement. I mean, these people are just so despicable. You claim confirmation you do not in fact show. So I'm not allowed to say that. Your evidence is weak. You can't say that. More irrelevant baby talk. Yes, he was talking about chocolate bars in microwave ovens. You know, how exactly shouldn't I consider that preposterously irrelevant? If I had posted my whole theory on this board, I would have been banned, and you know it. So I can't say that. I mean, it's just amazing. Nerd code for I wet him. Okay, now that's a little bit hostile, but great joke. I am wondering if you're just some kind of pogo stick that fell on a keyboard. Another pretty good joke. My confusion regarding why hypocrites like you are made moderators, and they're just demonstrating the hypocrisy. So so let's read this fascist asshole's bullshit excuse. So they're losing the argument. The experiment's going to be done, demonstrating they're wrong. Okay, they're running away desperately. And this is their bullshit excuse. We gave you a lot of opportunities to explain yourself, which I did, and I illustrated it. And you can't rationally interpret a fucking GIF file. Again, let's look at it again. They can't rationally accept that when the blue and green curves separate, which means they're a half phase out of phase, that there's twice as many bumps. They can't accept that as being true. All right. But when asked rational questions, what rational questions? So just lie. See, this is a lie. And I should sue you. I really should fucking goddamn sue you, you liar. How dare you, chief executive liar? How dare you lie like this? It's a lie. And you don't give me any right to counter-argue, right? So you make 3 last posts that are full of absolute bullshit. And you don't even give me the last word when you're going to silence me? So you silence me and then you say, oh no, we're going to talk shit about you. And you don't get to respond. Yeah, that's bullshit, fucker. You're defaming my character, you lying sack of shit. All right, but when asked rational questions and faced with reasoned refutations, none of that happened. You resort to childish behavior displayed above. No childish behavior except fighting for my own defense against your lame accusations, you little liar. All right, I warned you before. Yeah, exactly. That's all you've got. You're not allowed to make an argument. We get to mock you. You're not allowed to mock us back. That's all your standard says, you liar. You coward. You dickless coward. All right. That this may not be the site for you. Yeah, because you're liars. You're fucking goddamn liars. Despicable fucking liars. We are a science discussion forum. No, you're not. You're fucking liars. That has rules against posting video-only explanations. So again, there was no video-only explanation. So another fucking lie. Amazing. And it's clear you want to soapbox. Again, I'm narrowing the box. He's telling me I should talk about my entire expansive theory. That's what a soapbox person would do, right? They would be talking about lots of stuff. I'm trying to analyze one fucking experiment, clearly. So lie again. Another fucking lie. You fucking liar. about your misconceptions without any rigor at all. So again, yeah, except I'm right every fucking time and you're wrong every fucking time. Do you see the extra humps in the goddamn animation, liar? Oh, I should sue you. I'm going to sue you. This is horseshit. You have no right to post this crap when you close a board. You have no right to close a board without giving me the opportunity to type a response in my defense, pointing out how these are grotesque fucking lies. All right. We didn't support that type of guesswork. What guesswork? And you should find a place that does. You fucking cunt. You're allowed to post this lie, that fucking insulting lie. There's no guesswork here. I was pointing to your fucking evidence, asshole. I'm pointing to the experiments. They're displayed in my fucking videos. The fucking experiments are fucking displayed in the fucking video, you liar. We aren't going to lower our standards. Yeah, well, you couldn't go any lower. All right? You're fucking intellectual maggots. So please make everyone, including yourself, happy by either behaving according to our site's rules, which are what? You insult me, and I'm not allowed to defend myself. You fucking hypocrite. Or just leave and go preach your mistakes elsewhere. So again, I'm preaching a mistake when I didn't do anything. I didn't make any mistakes here, jackass. So he says, thread closed. Don't bother bringing this subject up again without some supportive evidence. Amazing. So you claim they lack evidence, and what do? They say, we don't have to defend our evidence. Shut up. Close the board. I mean, just such bullshit. Anybody says this is how the fucking goddamn internet should work. This is how the physics community should interact. This has happened at every single one of these boards. This is the third fucking time I've gotten banned for not doing a goddamn thing wrong except trying to defend myself against slanders. Oh. I mean, you people who defend this, you can't be suckier. I mean, you just point out exactly why if humanity gets so screwed by the universe, they deserve it, because you're scurvy, stinking, lying creatures. I mean, you have just no fucking integrity at all. You stand up for nothing. You stand for nothing. Ugh. Nah. So, like I said, I'm going to probably, probably should do one video a week where I just read some of their posts to other people. Because clearly these guys are idiots. And it's going to be easy to find them making huge mistakes all over the place. Because they're idiots. Science, my ass. Science fucking sucks. I mean, I never went into this with any kind of conspiracy, but the conspiracy seemed quite obvious. I mean, this is all a lie and a fraud, right? Because they can't be this fucking stupid. Just like if we sitting there making screen captures of this animation. I mean, he was sitting there watching this animation and say, I'm going to make a screen cap here when the frequency is half. Yeah. I mean, he had to deliberately do that. And then he can't figure out that, yeah, well, the part where I captured, the part right after that has twice as many bumps in it. You're telling me he couldn't see that? No, I'm saying he knows that. He doesn't care what the fucking truth is. He's a liar. I mean, MIT scientists were pretty smart. So you're saying from 1950 to 2019, none of the MIT physicists could figure out that, oh yeah, this radar experiment is kind of lame. Okay, yeah, because we never heard of jamming? I mean, we're physics teachers. We never heard of signal jamming? I mean, we can't be that fucking stupid, can we? Can we? Fuck. I hate this planet. Just hate it.